Oli the Goalie Tech Reviews here. Just came home from dropping my kids off to a movie and found this on my front door. Boy, am I surprised. I certainly didn't expect that. So I guess we've got an unboxing and a video coming up real soon. So, as I mentioned in the beginning of my video, today is a pretty exciting day. I have been on one of the Kickstarter backers since back in March, February of this year for the JMGO N1 Ultra, and have been eagerly awaiting for this projector to arrive. There's been some delays with the shipping, etc., but I think JMGO has done a pretty good job overall, and people are now starting to get their projectors. So I had been told via email that it was on its way and that it would show up at some point. I hadn't got a tracking number or anything like that. As I said earlier, came home after dropping my kids off at the movie theater, and this was at my door. So it is the JMGO, as you can see here, N1 Ultra. So without further ado, let's open it up and get to the good stuff. Now, I'm a little concerned because the box is a little bit accordioned here. So let's see whether or not there is any damage, because it was obviously dropped quite a bit here. So let's get this open. And I mean, I've been told that it's pretty well protected, the actual shipping container or the box that it's in, so we should be fine. I also have to be careful because just got out 9 stitches out of my finger, so if I'm moving things a little bit strangely, you know why. Okay, there we go. One of the absolute cool things about this projector is that it comes in its own protective case, basically made out of styrofoam. And it actually is a really cool idea, rather than just putting it in the card or the styrofoam that you throw out. You actually get to keep this thing and reuse it. And if you're ever on the go or taking it out or anything like that, you're able to do so. So let's get this out of here. That. We'll get rid of the wrapper here that talks about the N1. Actually, you know what? I might just open it like this. Looks like that's what they want us to do anyways. Okay, and inside of there are some instructions with regards to how you mount it, with the ceiling mount, the floor stand, etc., which I haven't got the ceiling mount yet. So today my installation will be pretty crude, putting it on a shelf in my home theater room to just be able to set it up and have a look at it. So here is the actual container, and as I could say, it's actually a really cool design. As I said, made of styrofoam, and it protects the projector quite nicely. So it's got a little handle with a little lock for the case, so you can actually pop it open, and voila. I'm gonna move this back a bit so we can hopefully see a little bit more. Inside you have the projector, some accessories, and then everything's wrapped to fit the projector itself. Basic connecting instructions, pretty straightforward. Here we have your power brick, your plug-in. So again, books, power brick, plug-in, pretty straightforward. Nothing too fancy. Some kind of little Allen key wrench. Not sure what that's for, but we can always take a look at that later. Of course, you have the remote control, your standard plastic remote. I'll be honest with you, I wish this was a little bit more heavy duty, more like the XGMI 4K. Their remote is probably the nicest that I've used out of any projectors, but this is still pretty nice. Nice tactile feed, buttons. You've got all your standard buttons: back, forward, home, up, down, back, forth, volume up and down, Google Talk or Google Assistant, and the power button. And of course, the star of the show, and this might be a bit of a challenge for me just because of my current hands, is the projector itself. So the first thing that you will notice, and again, I'm just going to adjust this a little bit more, is that this projector is on a gimbal. And that gimbal attaches with these two screws, and this gimbal portion can come off for the ceiling mount. But essentially what that gimbal does, everybody's seen the videos I'm sure already, but it allows you to actually spin it very much like a turntable. And then of course it adjusts up and down as well, because you can actually have it project on your ceiling. And that's as far back as it goes, by the way, just so you know the angle. And then straight away, etc. So very nice looking, feels very good, looks fantastic. Just for the initial impressions, really great. Let's get this thing downstairs plugged in, hooked up, and get ready to go. Okay, so here's the current setup for now, at least, until my ceiling mount comes in from JMGO. It's just sitting on a shelf right back against the wall. So of course, when I have it played on my screen, it's quite a bit too big, but the screen to fit automatic setting will work to make it fit to the screen. And we'll talk about that next. All right, so I've got it up on the ceiling mount, or in this case, on the shelf, as you saw in the previous video. And as you can see, it's wonky and not fitting the screen properly. And that's because I've left it to do the setup so that you can see how it works. I know everybody's probably seen the video of the auto screen fit, but let's just go ahead and do that anyway. So we're gonna go into settings, projector settings. We're going to go into Keystone correction setting, auto screen fit. It'll take a few seconds. After I hit go, that is. And boom, voila. It is now screen set up to fit the screen. Now, again, remember, anytime you do Keystone correcting or auto screen fitting, you are going to take away from the resolution. So do your best to always try and make it fit on the screen optically before you do anything digitally. So there's the first bit of testing. Let's just go through the settings here. On the projector settings, you have that instant gimbal-like display correction on or off. Anytime you move the screen using the gimbal up and down, left or right, it will adjust itself automatically. Of course, because I'm on a shelf, I'm not using that. Auto keystone correction, manual keystone correction. So if you do want to go in, you can actually see the auto screen fit was pretty close, but there's a tiny bit off on the upper left side. So I'm just going to click over and bring that into the right setting. I'm going to go over here because it's a little too far over and bring that down. Do the same for this, bring that over, and we are pretty much bang on. Keystone correction settings, that's where you can go in and do your keystone correction upon startup. Every time you turn it on, it'll do that. Keystone correction, I don't really, move the projector, so I don't really need to do that. Smart object avoidance, again, short of, Grogu there in the corner. There's really nothing, anything's going to get in the way, so we'll just leave that as it is. Autofocus, you can go in and actually do an autofocus. It's actually done that already, so it's looking pretty sharp. Manual focus, focus settings, picture movement and zooming, so you can actually go in and, for example, you can rotate and do different things. If you want to resize the screen just by using the up and down button, you can do that. You can go OK to go to pan. Panning will bring it up or down. So again, like those higher end projectors with the optical lens adjustment, this is digital. And then of course, rotate lets you rotate the screen, which we didn't want to do because now it's completely out of whack. So we're going to go reset adjustment, and that'll bring it back to where it was. So picture memory will allow you to go in and actually set up to 3 current or picture settings, which is fantastic. So for example, I watch a lot of sports, NHL hockey, that sort of thing. So I can have one of these set up for watching hockey. I can have one of them set up for maybe, videos, and perhaps one for 3D, which is also very nice. Picture restoration just allows you to set it back up to where it was originally, which of course I'm not going to do that. Projection method is your front, back, up, ceiling, forward, back, that sort of thing. Vertical flip, it'll automatically sense if the projector is upside down and flip itself. You have your brightness control, which as you can see actually brightens or darkens the on-screen. Adaptive brightness, which, again, I won't use, but it's there. It's kind of a nice feature for those that maybe, do have some light coming into the room. Of course, I don't. Low blue light mode, not too worried about that. Smart eye protection is great if you walk in front of the screen. Of course, it'll adjust to turn itself off so it doesn't affect somebody's eyes. And an indicator light is just the light on the power button on the gimbal itself. So there are your projection settings. You then have device preferences. About is, of course, your system update, name, all that kind of stuff. Let's go in. I did do a system update, but let's see if in the meantime there's been anything come out since then. Nope, check for update. Everything's good. All right, so we'll get out of there. And then your standard Android settings, right? Date and time, timer, language, keyboard, inputs. I do not see any way to have the projector turn directly on to the HDMI 1, for example, if you wanted to skip the built-in and just go right to your source, your HDMI source. You do have the CEC, so you can do your power on and off the different units, HDMI, that sort of thing, as well as controlling your Apple TV, whatever else that you may have plugged in through the system. Power is just your power, your sleeper timer, and your picture off. Picture is the actual picture settings and modes. You've got standard. You've got glaring. So I guess glaring is like searingly bright, although it doesn't look like a whole lot of difference there. Vivid. Standard, game, office, and user, which gives you a little bit more flexibility. But the one thing I have to say is that even in that standard, for example, I can go in and adjust my gamma. I can go in and adjust my color temperature, even to the point where I'm controlling it, each of the three separate red, green, and blue. HDR on or off, 3D mode on or off, left, right switch for the glasses. Advanced setting gives you the MPEG noise reduction, adaptive luma control, local contrast, and MEMC, which I think should be, I would have that, if not off, I would have it low, but we'll leave it for low for now. Color tuner is just your hue, saturation, and brightness. 11-point white balance correction. This is fantastic. I mean, to be able to have this much detail in the sense of going in and adjusting your white balance really gives you a little bit more flexibility with setting the picture. So, and then of course, sound, storage, home screen, Google Assistant, etc. All the stuff that I said comes normally with, and we're going to get out of there. So let's go into YouTube. Been having a little bit of issues with my Wi-Fi as of late downstairs in my home theater room, so we'll see how that goes. Let's start off with Peru. Let's go right back to the beginning. Now, I know the camera isn't picking up the same quality that I'm seeing on the TV, but even with the lights on, this looks pretty spectacular. There's no doubt about it. The detail is very good, very clear. The color reproduction is fantastic. The detail in the clouds and the trees and the shadows, everything just seems really great. Let's go and try another great one. Here, we'll start with the red and white balloons and the elephant at the beginning here. So let's go back. And far as audio. The audio is crazy, actually. Now, let's do the same thing now with the lights off. Rewind. Start again. This is, I gotta say, it's almost mind-blowing. It's pretty darn good. See, I've auditioned a lot of projectors over the last 6 months. Every one of them has gone back, and this is actually the first projector that I don't think has a chance of going back. Let's go back and look at that Peru again from the beginning. Looks pretty darn good. Pretty amazing. I see as I'm filming there's some banding, and I hope that doesn't come through on the video, but if it does, obviously just know that it's the camera, not the screen. The blacks are, I'm gonna say, the best I've seen yet on any projector, I think, without a question. Keep in mind too, I paid for this projector on my own. This is not a review unit. This is one that I bought on my own. So everything that I'm talking about here is realistic, based on my own personal opinion. Has nothing to do with JMGO or what. Let's go and do the LG. I was gonna go and do a separate clip of the audio, but I mean, you can hear just from this how really great it is. It's pretty incredible, actually. It's extremely loud, very full, and yeah, I'm not sure how anybody would want a sound bar. I mean, I guess for separation maybe, but man, that's pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. One more. I mean, at the end of the day, wow, these blacks are crazy. Again, I know you're not seeing it on the camera, but I'm telling you, face to face, looking at this thing, it's incredible. The blacks are amazing, and that blue is insane. The yellow, I see absolutely no speckle at all. I did see traces of it earlier on like the main screen, a little bit there in the yellow, but it's pretty minimal. It's certainly not anything that would bother me. So. I gotta say, I'm very happy with this projector. Very happy. Let's go back one more time and let's look at the horse scene in this particular video, just to give you an idea. Wow. It literally, it's so bright, it lights up this entire room and looks incredible. So you can see the trees in the background, more so than I've seen on any projector other than my Epson 5050 UB that I used to have. So again, even the way that it shows that particular scene is pretty impressive. Yeah, I don't have a lot of negative things to say about this projector right now, to be honest. When I first set it up, there was a bit of skipping or delay. That seems to have gone away since I've run the update on the firmware. And yeah, this is spectacular. I mean, there's nothing more to say. This is 138 inches and it is phenomenal. The next thing I'm going to do is to try 3D. So just to see, you know, how bright it is. So I'm gonna give that a shot next. So let's pause this. I'm gonna pause the video. Be right back. Okay. Picture. 3D mode. Frame packing. And let's get out of there. Without question, the brightest I've seen on any 3D movie ever. So I've shown you a few demos of the videos. I have shown you, I guess, there really isn't much more to say. This projector is phenomenal. It really is. I'm impressed beyond belief in the regards of is the picture quality. If you look here, I don't know if you can see it, but in those white YouTube boxes there in the Google Play Store, music, that sort of thing, there's a tiny bit of speckle. Again, I think it's not of a level that you know, if you chose to ignore it, it wouldn't really bother you. So I'm not overly worried about that. I am impressed incredibly with the brightness of this projector, the sharpness of this projector, the sound of this projector. Everything about it has been far and above beyond my expectation. Again, a little bit of glitchiness here and there. That seems to be corrected since the updates. Really, there's not much more to say. It's a great projector, looks fantastic. And remember, guys, this is my own money. I'm not saying this because somebody's paying me to do so. This is a great projector. You are going to be happy with this one without question. The Kickstarter program that I backed from the very beginning 3 or 4 months ago from the start was a great deal. And even at its regular retail price now, which I think is somewhere around $2,200 or something like that, it really is fantastic. So way to go, JMGO. Super impressed. Love it. And I know that you all will. And I thank you again. Once again, I thank you for your time, for taking the time to watch my video. I hope that you got to get some feedback that you know, is valuable from somebody who is just, you know, your average home theater enthusiast who loves to watch a movie at home and watch it on something that looks really incredible, which is what this JMGO is. If you have any questions, please leave your comments below and I will definitely get back to you on them. And once again, thank you for your time. And yeah, you're not going to be disappointed with this JMGO. Have a great night, everybody.